Where did Cheese go? What? Oh, Cheese went back to the other server. Okay. I can try streaming the game while recording. Hopefully this works. We're gonna go a really low, performance on this stream just so my computer can handle it. No peeking tasty.
I'm typing
I'll
help into the
stream
terminal. Please
well.
save me.
Typing help into the terminal. Anyway. Hello everyone, my name is GabeGT and welcome back for another casted match here. We are on Solar here as we have two very high-ranked teams going at each other here. Team 1, ANS, Team 2, OSP, as per normal.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome
If you
back
wanna
from
stop
the Team 2 stack. I'll stop streaming so my computer doesn't fucking explode. Okay, anyway. Team 1, we have Rose Assassin, Sovereign, Tasty Cookie, who is here in the VC for some reason. First Legion, Best Legion, and Remo. Team 2, OSP, we have definitely not Jeremy, Surazal, Iris, Scipio, and I swear this isn't notes. Taking a look at initial deployments here. ANS deploying very heavy DE side here. Wait, I'm fucking casting. I can't, like, talk about what OSP has if Tasty's here.
Right. Oops.
Kick him.
Be
Kill him.
gone.
There, okay, he's deafened.
Oh,
Okay,
be gone.
anyway. I almost talked about OSP's deployment when with Tasty in the call here. That would have been really awkward. Anyway, yeah, ANS really committing to the DE side here. Taking a look at OSP, they are more spread out, which is, yeah, pretty standard. Looks like we have not a lot of heavy stuff on B side, which is what you'd expect for OSP here. They do like pushing into the B point here. We do have some Acellos going mid, which can pivot low if need be. Most of OSP is also concentrated around D side here. Is this all of OSP? Oh, that's two double Acello groups. Okay. I see. I was like looking at this. I'm like, where the fuck did the rest of OSP's fleet go? Anyway, what do we get a zoom in on? These are some CLs here. Looks like a triple gun CL fleet. Yep. Someone tell Tasty that they can't undeafen until the end of the game because I'm casting this. Anyway, let's take a look through Team 1. Starting with First Legion, Best Legion. These are the CLs that we saw on deployment here. This is a triple gun CL fleet here. Very, very nice. Very, very high damage output with this combo here. It looks like we are rebound maxing. I almost... Yep, there's the comms jammer. Okay, thought we didn't have one. We are doing frontline, parallax, and frontline. Okay, pretty fair for a triple CL fleet. Chaff launcher on the back of one. We have the comms jammer and some offensive jammers on the top in place of the fifth gun on two of them. No illuminators means that they are unable to self-illum, but not the biggest downside. Oh, they're only single driving. Only a Raider driving these, not Raider whip like you'd typically expect out of this type of fleet. Hell, this is an old fleet. I forgot to check it. Oh, well. Don't worry. I've been spoiled on what the rest of your team's bringing First Legion. You're good. Anyway, Remo's up next. They are the cap fleet here, or at least one of them. Looks like they... Oh, never mind. These are these all missile ones?
I'm tempted to say something dumb, like, you assume ANS had a chance to begin with.
These are Prowler Drive torpedo cappers in pairs. With a plant control.
Me?
What's the plant control doing in this? What? Oh, Prowler Drive. Okay, that's why. Interesting. The Bullseye as well is also not helping with the power constraint on these sprinters here. These things lose a ton of their speed to get that Prowler Drive. They do get some stealth, but you know. Anyway, I should probably mute Cheese Slayer stream so I don't get echoes like I just got there when they started capping a point. Probably should have checked that I had it muted beforehand, but you know. Okay, they also have a Beamstone deployed on Boxer, double FPA, standard build, pretty normal stuff. Rose Assassin with a 3K carrier here, double guns, double chaff launcher. Inside, we have a lot of different craft here. We have two Nighthawks, not sure if they've already launched any of these. Nope, they got 4 total, or 2 of them are already up. These are stealth coding, decoy projector. Spirits are stealth coding and decoy projector, but S2s instead of S3s. Eagles with the S1 bay, stealth and articulated nozzles with the coil gun. Lightnings, coil gun, centerline fuel tank, stealth coding. And gunboats. These are double 35 gun skiffs. Okay, so no enhanced radar on those. They do at least have 2 AWACS out, though, which does help with sensor coverage. Anyway, onto Sovereign, bringing... That's not where
AWACS?
yeah, Rose has 2... Sorry,
CWACS,
CWACS. Sorry, I'm very real-life pilled,
I don't care. I'm just screwing with you.
I know you are. Anyway, so this is, that's not where I expected the beams to be on this BB, if I'm being perfectly honest, although it is where I expected the pinards to be. Also not where I expected the double bullseye to be, but, you know, that's besides the point. What's in this thing? Plant control bulk mag in the nose. A plant control bulk mag in the nose. Citadel CIC a little bit forward from the center. Large DC in the core. Spyglass. Double redundant reactor failsafes with all R drives. Okay. This guy does not like his drives going boom, I suppose. Well, at least it has DC, I suppose. The damage control is pretty... Those are a lot of reinforced in the really well-protected spots. Okay. Well, they got 10 resources by spamming reinforced, it looks like. Anyway, in terms of craft, they are already all launched. Let's see what we have. A single, 1, and then in parentheses, you just put the number 1. Tonto, with... Strike. Okay. 3 frag bombs, a KBU, 15. Devil's Bargain and Ballesteros. Are these offensive? Oh, they're offensive. This is... That's an EOS-1. Okay.
Impressive.
Well, yeah. How many of those does this guy have? None. That's it. That's it. They only have enough munition on this BB for 1 of those. And it's out right now. Anyway, the other craft that they have up is the halberd here. Assuming advanced radar, right? No ELINT sensor. I guess it works with the BB having ELINT on it. Okay, sure. And then nothing else. Anyway, Escort. Their escort ship is a comms jamming single-gunned, really cheap sprinter. And what about the destroyer? Is it beam? It is a beam with no FPAs and absolutely nothing else in it. Okay, well, this is certainly one of the fleets of all time. This player's the same rank as me. Anyway, let's go through Tasty's fleet before the match ends and A explodes. This is the same thing they brought last time. 2 beamstones with Whiplash, 2 with Dragonfly, and then 8 gun cappers. I already know this fleet. Anyway, taking a look at what's happening. OSP takes D and C and also steps onto Boxer. Rocket shuttle rush onto the Boxer point means that they are able to kill Tasty in his initial cap attempt here. However, Tasty's beam does mop up. There are 2 rocket shuttles that are still in position here on Boxer to try and ingress on there. Container support out to try and clear out those beamstones so that the point can be taken, although ANS does lose it to natural. Although, in return, they do take A. An empty cringe capper, 2 empty cringe cappers from Tasty do step onto the A point here and are able to grab it before OSP is able to deny. Meanwhile, ANS pushes really heavily up into Dagger here. Tasty's Whiplash Beamstone. That's one of the Dragonfly ones. Wow, gets there really quickly. Is on Dagger, ready to put beams into whatever gets onto Dagger point there. And there's a couple Sprinter swarms around the side, and the Triple CL fleet is flanking around the side here, looking to put pressure onto Dagger, although one of them already chewed up quite a lot, likely by... Was it the S2 Acello that did that? Or was it something?
I don't think
it was
the
the
S2
S2
Acello is fired.
Has it fired anything yet? What the hell happened to this fucking... Oh,
No.
it got rocket shuttle rushed. Okay, yep, that would explain it. Anyway, let's take a look at what OSP has. Sarazal up first with the double Acello fleet. I'm seeing Sarissas, Auroras, Floodlights, VLS-2 on the back of this one, a Bullseye. Other one has a Comms Jammer Bullseye as well, and is double Sarissa, double Aurora. Yep, very nice double Acello fleet there. Notes is bringing, as mentioned before, the S2 Acello. You know you might as well, I suppose. Iris is running the CLN and has been already putting a lot of pressure on these beam destroyers here, although no hits yet.
Oh, hold on. There's a Ruddle going for the back line.
Oh.
It's spotted.
Backline rush. detected on sensor. This was one of the ones at... No, this was not one of the ones at B. This one flanked all the way around. Looks like the C-Wax from Rose Assassin spots it, as this thing is flanking towards God knows fucking where. Not sure where it's going. Sovereign.
Fudge, I can't read. Sovereigns.
Engaging with the 35 slug. Do they know that that doesn't do any damage?
No, evidently not.
It did 10% damage to the magazine. That's it. Oh, actually, it's doing damage. What the fuck? The magazine's at 75%. This is big. Tech alarm. Tech alarm. Tech alarm. Anyway.
Oh no. Anyway.
Oh no. Like, actually, though. Anus takes dagger. Although, definitely not Jeremy steps back onto the point with a Ruddle, but Tasty has already flanked their Beamstone up to dagger, and yeah, clears out dagger. ANS holding the 4-cap right now. Missiles out on the Ruddle rush in the back. Lands a couple hits. These launched at long range against the Sprinter here, although it is not evading. Yeah, those are gonna hit.
That's knocked out.
What the fuck? This was a cringe capper. Okay, so it killed a single cringe capper. I suppose that is certainly one of the things it could have killed. You know, Sovereign's fucking Tonto creature actually got strikes through. Okay. Wait, no. That wasn't an EOS-1. That was an EOSDM-1. Oh. Okay, what if I paid 9 points for a missile?
Monster. That's not 9 points. That's like 12.
Huh.
Is that an ass-tanking Solomon? Oh my god,
it is. Okay. Well, that's what the redundant reactor failsafes are, I fucking suppose. Can't you do this just with reinforced things in the front and be fine because your armor bounces?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that everything is gonna pin this thing now.
It is.
I feel
My
like
issue with
struggle.
Huh.
You could just pop a Citadel CIC and a reinforced mag right on the nose and just eat all damage. You don't really have to do the drive
Psychological warfare. This was tested to defeat 6-gun Celos to stand up. You have no chance. I am looking at the damage control board of this BB, and now I'm looking at the damage control board of the Acellos, and I am going to press F to doubt on that one. Anyway, containers out. Looks like these are going to try and... No, these are going for the triple CL. Sub-munitions are likely rocket boxes out to try and hit those in support of Notes here, who has been pushed back by the triple CLs jamming and the beamstones, and also the massive swarm of... oh, no, they were out on these things. The torpedo cappers are also here. ANS with a really aggressive push onto dagger actually works out pretty good. They get themselves really well established here with the beamstone and the torpedoes and the CLs here. Meanwhile, OSP's attempt at Boxer falls pretty short here, as the double beamstones here are able to cover for each other against these Ruddles. Although, that being said, Jeremy is going to try and make a play against, looks like it's against Remo's beamstone here, flanking from 2 different directions to avoid getting killed one at a time. These likely will be able to kill one of them. Isn't this one the one with, like, really high point defense? It is. 2 defenders, 2 rebounds.
Container strike on battleship, container strike on battleship, and it's gone.
It hit? Oh, okay. Well, I turn my gaze for 1 second. And
no balls.
Lack of soft kill. Yep, that's CMD. No ability to soft kill that. Those are massive hits. Are any of these bomb container follow-ups? Does not look like it. So theoretically, the BB will survive, although it is under fire from 450 AP from 4 Acellos. So I would say it is very unlikely that it will be able to get back up. Anyway, the Ruddle attempt on Remo here. This is the one with a ton of point defense. Might be able to survive this then. Yep, only a couple hits means that this thing is still relatively healthy. Beam goes out into the one on Boxer and vaporizes it. Yep, Boxer will be held. The Defender and 2 rebounds in Arc will make short work of that second rocket strike. The beam making sure that thing on Boxer is finished from Tasty, and they should have more than enough stuff in position to destroy that.
I'm sure Cher is never going to hear the end of this game.
Although that being said, Iris does get a nice snipe on one of Tasty's beamstones here, the one guarding A. A is relatively open now. Actually, no, Tasty does have a second one looking at A. A could potentially be capped here. The Acello is starting to move on. Surizel is starting to push onto A here, moving up close. Taking a look back at Dagger here, the triple CL pushes around the side here, looking to try and find Notes' S2 Cello here, although it is hiding itself behind jamming quite well here. Not sure about the range of those S2s here. None are being programmed yet. Perhaps they are out of range. The torpedo cappers actually are putting themselves in a really nice ambush position to try and engage this S2 Acello here. If they flank around the side, they will be able to get some good hits into it. Rose Assassin Battleship goes down. Rose Assassin has a couple of bomber squadrons, or rather one bomber squadron out right now. Bastion appears to be ASF defending the D point attempt.
I'm sorry, can you look at the bomber squadron? There's torpedoes that are completely empty.
Yes, there are. Are those offensive killjoys? Why? Okay, well, interesting. Anyway, rocket box salvo out on the suspected location of the triple CL. Some of these look like they will catch. RPF being fired into Stalwart here. This little sensor craft is giving offset track for the CLs and in support of the S2 Acello. These CLs are flak maxed, which means that they have the right...
Oh, Tasty's going to lose the beam Yeah, beam Yeah,
one of the beam destroyers guarding B gets vaporized. The other one's still operational. Its reactor is down. It does have a restore, although there is a rocket box container out on it. I think this container salvo is kind of too little too late for the B attempts there. There is no ships in position to take advantage of the loss of those beam destroyers. Anyway, Notes has opened up with the S2 Acello here. These are CMD Saw and CMD Hodge. Jammers are not pointing towards where the S2s are. Comms jammer is not on. Unfortunately for First Legion here, these missiles are going into the one that has the comms jammer. Power constraint. Yep, this thing is powered down. Reactors
it doesn't matter.
Offline.
These are... the Acello is double supplementary amplifiers.
Oh,
like, there's no stopping these.
One of the CLs honestly, might be able to get around cover here and get hidden from these missiles. Although it looks like two of them are going to unfortunately bite the dust here for ANS. Actually, yeah, one of them's damaged, one of them's intact, and the other one's crippled.
Plant Control Center.
On what, these CLs? On who? Notes?
On the CL for First Legion, Best Legion.
How is this thing power cringed? It's only single drive.
That's a fantastic question. That's Para. So
no, Para shouldn't be causing that either. It should have.
It has RCC.
Oh, yep, that's what he meant by outdated fleet. He was trying to buff the rebounds. Anyway, ANS did hold a cap advantage for quite a lot here, although unfortunately for them, their front line is collapsing pretty quickly here against the missiles of OSP. And, yep, OSP does rush into A here, takes it with the double Acello fleet. The loss of both the battleship and Tasty's beamstones in the area make this a completely uncontestable play from ANS. Although the CCs are moving off of A, it looks like they're heading towards B. That will take them out of the fight for a little bit, although ANS will likely lose C. Here we have a torpedo strike, never mind, S2 strike against Notes there, who just flicks on the B short button and ignores it. Follow-up salvo. More S2s out against this Acello here. Quad Auroras, though, are going to burn through those pretty quickly here as Bullfrog. Salvo is completely annihilated. It RTBs pretty quickly there. Two Ruddles now heading on to Dagger here. They are seen by the CL fleet up top, which means that they do know that they're there. It's not clear if they have any intel on what they are yet, although I would expect they probably can take a guess. Torpedoes out to try and hit those from Remo's Torp Sprinters, though, although it looks like those are going to rock PD. Or, no, never mind. They're going to loop around the corner here at the last moment and, yep, immediately vaporizes one of them right before it tries to let loose its rockets. The other one, though, is still intact. Rockets are pre-programmed, so it's going to dump right as it rounds the corner here. Although it is not an arc. It's not an arc. The rocket launchers aren't an arc. There we go. There's the strike. Hits the damaged one that has its rebounds knocked out, which means that it is unable to really stop that. The CLs are probably pivoting their guns to engage this thing now, I would assume, although it has gone behind them. Nope, torpedoes from fucking something finish them up. Okay. Scipio's SL fleet pulling back towards Dagger to try and stop this, the CLs. Illuminators on target means that jamming's not really going to help these CLs here. They are rapidly trying to dive into cover. They pushed out in a really unfortunate time and are going to get pretty heavily damaged because of it.
The enemy is securing zone Boxer.
Boxer now being secured by Surizel here. It looks like they split off one of the CCs to take the point and the other to just push ANS here. ANS's carrier in almost within detectability range of this Cello here, although torpedo dump from Remo here is going to catch Surizel off guard here. This is the one with the comms jammer. It is being fired. Hodge backup does mean that these will run straight. They run out of range. No, they get picked apart by the Sarissas.
They get
torpedoes without maneuverability. Oh no, they do.
They do get ranged.
Oh, that was unfortunate. That was the perfect ambush, and unfortunately, they just timed the range wrong, and that Acello is going to walk off. Very lucky Acello there, as those would have likely hit and done pretty good damage with the saw backup. Speaking of CMD saw, Notes is putting another salvo out into one of the last remaining CLs of ANS here. This thing is without cover, takes a full broadside hit from those. One of them is still functional, pulling back, but it is likely the next target for Notes here, as they are just going to dump another S2 salvo into it. Beam out from Tasty onto Surizel's Acello that pushed into E here as it starts taking hits on the side here. Tasty is just going to hold the B short button down, hope that they get a lucky aim point on this thing. Cut through maybe the CIC or the mag, although both the mags look very intact on this thing. Might knock out some of the guns. One of the mags goes down, although the other is still perfectly healthy here. Tasty, unfortunately, getting really unlucky with the beam aim points on this Acello here, as the beam is just going to burn itself out, hitting nothing of importance. Although, another beam now coming in. Sovereign's beam, the one without FPAs, does manage to cross around the gap here. Knocks out the CIC and the drives on this thing. Surizel's Acello is now crippled in open space. The beams should be enough to finish it out, although they still have one healthy one at Boxer. ANS, although they got the initial cap lead here, they do need to start worrying about cap points here, as Dagger is in very real threat of falling here to Notes' Acello here. Although Tasty flanking the Beamstone into position here. Torpedoes also coming out from the Sprinters do some pretty good damage to the Acello there. Should be good enough for Tasty to finish it off with the beam here.
Yeah, Scipio needs to push in, or else, yeah, it actually might already be a lost game for OSB.
Yeah, ANS with that initial 4 cap just is so advantageous here. You can see ANS
strikes again.
Into B strikes again, losing the entire Ruddle Swarm to very obvious threats. What were those? The empty those had to be the empty torpedoes, right? Huh. Anyway, OSP down to very few hulls here. 3 functioning gun CLs and the nearly empty container liner are all OSP really has in their banks right now. ANS still has their fleet carrier, still has plenty of cap assets spread around the map, although they do need to start thinking about stepping on to set cap points to secure them. Looks like Tasty is already on that, sending one of the gun cappers to A, although I have a feeling that CLN still has enough in its banks to try and deny that. We will see if it will be able to. Scipio's...
OSP 4 cap.
Yeah, OSP is just, I think, yeah, I think you're right. I think that ANS just still has enough left in the tank to win this one. Not a lot closer of a match than you would think. The stack, unfortunately, just gets outcapped by Tasty here, as they masterfully positioned their beamstones in very good positions, just denying territory constantly against pushes from the Protectorate here. I am not streaming. I am recording, though. First Legion, Best Legion here steps out into arc of Scipio's Acellos here and just gets absolutely annihilated for it. Tasty still undetected on their A-cap attempt here, although that's going to change.
S2 Cello's dead.
It shouldn't, not really a surprise considering it had a beamstone on it. But it is going to explode, I think. Or unless that's a feline fire. Never mind, that's just a feline fire. Well, it wasn't dead before, it's very much dead now. And as... Yep, there goes off the A-cap. Tasty does get detected. The Acellos are in range to try and get shots on it. Not sure if they're close enough. Actually, no. Bellicose should be close enough to step onto the point before it's capped. This is really where Rose needed to be up with bombers to try and stop that. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like they have anything out right now. Missiles do go out. These are CMD-guided HE-shaped missiles out on the A-capper here. It is being target-locked by the Acello, which means that these will run straight into it. No comms jamming means that, that if that Acello maintains lock, which it should, or OSP will deny the A-cap here. Very nice teamwork there, using the lock capabilities of the allied Acello to guide these CMD missiles in, as Tasty is going to lose this capper. The defender pointing in the wrong direction, as one of them phases through, but the other two hit and do get the kill. Remo is, looks like attempting to gunfight this Acello on Boxer with sprinters, which is not usually a winnable fight. Has also rushed they've rushed their sprinters outside of Dagger here, leaving Dagger open relatively for the cap. Tasty still keeping an eye on the point with the beamstone here. It has been detected by the Acello. The Acello detected in turn. Tasty already firing the beam. I think, no, Tasty has the beam being fired on something that's behind cover. Nope, there it goes. Wait, is Tasty, what is Tasty target locking? There it goes. Okay, there. Tasty wakes up and begins target locking the Acello, trying to get this beam into cover so it can turn and get fire onto this this CC here. CC already laying 450 fire down. That is a beam into the nose of this thing. That's going to be absorbed by all of these reinforced things on the front. This beamstone might not be enough to deny the point here. Battle short not on.
Where'd the other
There's the
beamstone go?
The other beamstone is denying.
Is it dead?
The other beamstone retreated back to E to stop Surizel's Acello. Which it did do, by the way. But unfortunately, I have a feeling that OSP is going to actually retake Dagger here, which means then it's on A and Nest to try and secure a point. Unless this beam gets really lucky. No! Was that a CIC snipe? That was a CIC snipe! Look at that. The beam is...
On what?
The
Where?
beam is alive on the Destroyer that was guarding Dagger. The beam is alive, but the CIC takes
beam
an
is alive.
unlucky
It was the CIC
450
snipe.
hit. Yeah, unlucky 450 hit from onto that beamstone there. Yeah, Dagger is going to fall to
Surzal
OSP
is
here.
still alive. Oh, wait, no, there's Beam. Yeah, it's gonna
Beams
kill it.
can't kill a Cello, so yes, this thing is still alive. It can be infinitely contested on Eclipse, though. Tasty, no. Sovereign pivoting to A to try and dislodge this Acello from the A point there. Unfortunately, no FPAs in that beamstone means that it's going to not really be doing much to secure that. Tasty does still have cappers in reserve here, potentially trying to make a play maybe for C, although the CLN has started to park itself on the point to stop that. CLN running very low on missiles, although at this stage in the game it doesn't matter. It's done its job. Sovereign is going to burn out the beam, unable to kill this thing due to lack of FPAs. Meanwhile, Remo, without torpedoes left in these cappers on Boxer, is going to be unable to dislodge this CC from the point, although it gets reactor bloomed on. Interesting. Although I don't think they have the gunpowder still. They're going to do a lot more damage to it than they would have before.
The enemy secured zone Dagger.
I mean, so, yeah, Cookie is just...
Tasty Cookie watching the carry that they worked so hard to get. against this stack with an uncoordinated ANS team slowly fade away as multiple unlucky plays and misplays from ANS here unfortunately allow OSP to gain the 4 cap that they need to turn this back around. Nothing on Boxer to dislodge that Acello. Nothing on A. C is being guarded by the CLN, and Dagger has fallen to Scipio's Acello here. That is rather unfortunate. Although, I am looking at this thing down here. Look at Remo's. Remo still has an alive ship on Dagger with a restore for the drive. It is possible that if this... No, this Acello is just going to park itself on D. What am I talking about?
No, there's no reason for
Scipio knows what he's doing. Yeah.
Well, I don't think... Even if he doesn't, then everyone else in call is going to yell at him for trying to leave the point.
No. Scipio's a really good player. They know not to do this type of thing. They are just going to sit on Dagger until the end of the game here, ensuring that OSP does take the win here. Multiple cap attempts at C are likely going to fail here. This CLN is still combat capable, which means it'll contest the point. And there is a flight of 4 bombers flank speeding over to Boxer now, although I don't think they can get there in time to secure a 2 cap. I think that ANS needs to look for a 3 cap now that they lost so many points. Nova, however, is trying to strike at this Acello on Dagger. It is only loaded with KBU-22s. That's not going to get through. One of the Auroras is still in arc. The decoys are going to get burned apart by the Aurora. That Aurora should have...
They're focusing on the bomber.
Yeah, the Aurora should have enough health, though, to repivot onto the bombs. Yep, that was a Z-Pro command from the Acello. Z-Pros the bombs and ensures that they get shot down. ANS might be able to retake Boxer. No, they're being turned around. Iris sends in a Pike with 20 mil to guard Boxer, and those bombers are they're not going to be able to get through that. You can see these bombers have already started. No, they're loitering. Do they know that thing is there? It is. They do know it's there. I think these bombers have to commit regardless of what's there or not. Tasty trying to step onto A, but unfortunately they cannot dislodge this Acello here. They are. Ooh, though. No, look, Tasty, underneath A, is moving their beamstone from E to A in conjunction with the capper stepping on the point. If Rose Assassin gets this strike out on this Acello in time, ANS might secure a 3 cap here if Tasty gets lucky with an aim point on that Acello and these bombs get through. The Pike, though, committing onto the bombers, flank speeding out, guns ready to go. No support in range to shoot down that Pike before it starts hitting the bombers. As the bombers go into defensive here, under 20 mil fire, they're going to start running out of fuel really quick here. One of them launches. Single command S2 is not going to get through those Auroras. The other ones need to launch. Yep, the other ones do launch. Will this be enough? Aurora's in arc, being battle shorted with Sarissa support. Although the Killjoys attract half of the salvo, and the rest of them miss. Boxer is safe, and there goes ANS's last hope of trying to win this one, unfortunately. Although ANS might be able to dislodge this Acello from A. Tasty is already moving their beamstone into position, although this beam is heavily damaged, likely unable to be battle shorted. The 120 fire from the gun cappers is starting to add up a little bit into this Acello here, although it is not enough to kill a CIC or drive or something. Reactor detonation on A. That's going to strip the Acello's armor, although I don't think it's really going to change much. Tasty is still trying to get an angle for this beam here. The track is still being supplied by their crippled capper on the point here. The drives of this beamstone are heavily damaged. Beam is on weapons hold. Tasty waiting until this thing is around the corner, opens fire in the drive section. Boxer being secured. Wait, what? One of the bombers gets through.
Oh.
One of the bombers gets through. CIC red.
It doesn't matter. By the time that point gets capped, OSP is going to have the points advantage.
Yeah. An attempted an 8-point here, unfortunately fails as Tasty burns out the beam trying to kill this Acello, gets unlucky with the aim points. Unable to kill this thing's combat capabilities before they have to duck back due to battle damage.
Beam actually might get knocked out.
It's Boxer being contested. The Acello managing to bring its CIC back online into functional status before the cap goes off. Shells going out. All it takes is going to be one of these 120 AP rounds into that CIC reinforced to knock it back out again. Will ANS get lucky? Surazal now pivoting to the Beamstone, trying to contest A. Getting good cross shots into that. The beam heavily damaged here, unable to fire.
The small DC's lockers out. The small DC lockers out. If he loses the beam, he's done.
There goes the CIC and the beam. Yep, that Keystone is now dead. There goes ANS's last hope for winning this one.
Oh shit.
Remo
There's
steps
a reactor
onto...
overload.
On which one?
On the B. On B, Acello.
Oh, is that going to get repaired in time?
I
Should
might?
be, right?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Yeah, it's going to get repaired in time. ANS does attempt C here, although Remo is out of torpedoes and so will not be able to combat and capable eyes this this Moorline before. Rose, no bombers up right now to try and hit things. Unfortunately, was unable to get some strikes through there in the late game. The Acello on Boxer now drives down. Its CIC and magazines still functional, means that Boxer will continue to be contested. A is very much an impossibility right now for ANS. They are out of assets at the moment. Looks like ANS is getting ready to call this. Unfortunately, they had such an initial advantage here. Very, very good play from Tasty, securing the 4 cap really early on. Unfortunately, the rest of ANS's frontline and flex just unable to hold for as long as they needed to secure the win here, as Boxer is just going to get contested. Yep, drives back online on that CC, sorry. Reinforced DC locker, very well protected now. You can see that Surazal is likely angling their Acello to present the arm to the side, the CIC away from the incoming fire here. A is infinitely going to be contested by this Acello here, which is combat capable enough to hold up.
Game over.
Yeah, this is unfortunately game over.
OSP wins on 2 cap. It's over.
There were so many moments here where ANS almost had like a moment where they had a strike against a ship or had an opportunity to get a kill that would have allowed them to... Oh, lucky hit into Boxer. Cores the CIC. ANS is going to take B, but unfortunately it is too little too late. Wait, nope, never mind. DC team was already on their CIC. Yeah, there were several moments here where the torpedo rush onto Zurazal's Acello down low, the getting unlucky with the beamstone on Dagger into Scipio's retake there, the torpedoes being wasted from just... Yeah, being used in the incorrect target. If Remo still had torpedoes left, they might have been able to kill this this Moorline, or at least disable it enough on C to take the point. Boxer might have been able to be taken by those torpedoes. The carrier from ANS, unfortunately, also unable to really get any good battle impact from the hits. And yeah, unfortunately, that is going to be a loss for ANS here, as Tasty is just unable to hold, or sorry, Tasty's team, I should say, is unable to hold. Tasty, anything you'd like to say? I have a feeling you're going to have a lot to say about that one.
Holy shit. 10k off of the CLs, that is...
I have a lot I would like to say.
Tasty,
Though.
with masterful plays at the beginning of the game.
8 bombers off a 3k levy. 8 bombers.
Well, that would explain why the carrier was unable to get really much damage out, huh? Tasty, I think that a single one of your beamstones outdamages each one of your teammates, except for Remo, maybe. I think, Tasty, yeah, honestly, I think that Boom did more damage than any of your teammates there. Holy shit. Tasty with a masterful cap play that game. Unfortunately, their team just collapses around them as they're just unable to hold from OSP's counterattack. You had them on the ropes for so long that game. Jeremy threw away all of their rocket shuttles to very obvious threats that they knew about. The Acellos were kind of just out of position and able to just get flanked with beams on their sides a lot of the time when they pushed in. Iris had some good hits, but unfortunately they came too little too late to support the B push early on. And yeah, it was just kind of... Notes did pretty good, able to destroy the CLs on Dagger, but unfortunately wasn't able to retake it because, like I said before, Tasty, your beamstones were in incredible positions. Just able to get really awesome flanking shots against the Acellos that kept pushing in. They were able to hold territory for so long that game. But yeah, your front line just collapsed around you. And yeah. And this is why we put comms jammers on our BBs, people.
More damage. My beamstones had more damage than the rest of my team combined.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was...
It's not the best player that decides the match. It's the worst.
Yeah. There were... The torpedo rush onto the one of Scipio's Acellos low from Remo that got ranged out. If those hit, that would have disabled that that Acello, and Tasty could have moved the beam off of E really early and back onto A. The bomber strikes against the CC at Boxer, if that went through earlier, it might have been able to disable it early enough for ANS to maybe think of something. Same thing goes on Dagger. The bomb strikes from the carrier that ANS had just got kind of shot apart and just wasn't really able to have impact. Unfortunate for ANS there, and unfortunate more so for Tasty, who almost carried a team to victory against a stack.
Did you notice the voxels also had rapid cycle cradles?
I did notice that. Remember when First Legion said that they were outdated? They were trying to buff the rebounds, I have a feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, the CLs were doing a pretty good job of zoning out. They were doing a pretty good job of zoning out notes there for a good deal of the game.
Not no liners on OSP2. That's a funny thing.
Yeah.
No liners.
It was all Acellos as the front line. And I mean, like, the jamming was doing a really good... The range control jamming from the CLs was doing a really good job of just keeping notes from being able to do much, but then the CLs pushed in and just got annihilated.